My name is Eleanor Lockwood, and I never imagined my life would end, let alone at the age of 32. Working as a trauma nurse in Seattle, I'd encountered loss too many times to count, but going through it myself changed every assumption I once held about life, death, and what truly lies ahead. Before my experience, I trusted only what I could measure or observe. I used to dismiss near-death experiences as random flashes of a dying brain. But the sheer reality of what happened to me felt more vivid and tangible than anything I've ever encountered, and it completely reshaped my perspective on existence. It all started on what seemed like an ordinary Tuesday morning at Harborview Medical Center. The emergency department was in an uncharacteristic lull, that deceptive calm that often foreshadows sudden chaos. My shift began at 6 in the morning, and by 10:30, I was tending to a teenager admitted with a broken arm. Everything felt routine, the soft beeps of monitors, sunlight slanting through the large windows, and the slow footsteps of colleagues in the hallway. I had no idea how drastically my life was about to change. Without warning, a crushing pain tore through my chest, as if a vice was squeezing every breath out of me. It was so sudden and overwhelming that I reached for the wall, desperate to steady myself. My fingers never made it. I heard my patient scream, a panicked call for help, and then darkness swallowed me whole. Later, I learned I had suffered a massive pulmonary embolism. A blood clot had traveled to my lungs. The doctors discovered I carried a clotting disorder I'd unknowingly had since birth. As a result, I was clinically dead for almost 5 minutes, but during those minutes, I experienced an entire universe that turned my old beliefs upside down. I came to understand that the boundary between life and death isn't the end, it's a doorway. When awareness returned, the first thing I noticed was an eerie sensation of floating. Incredibly, I found myself hovering above my body, looking down at a chaotic scene. Familiar faces surrounded me, colleagues I'd joked with just an hour earlier, now racing against time to keep me alive. Dr. Silva, our lead emergency physician, was focused on chest compressions, his usually composed demeanor replaced by grave intensity. My longtime friend and fellow nurse, Melissa, readied the defibrillator, her face streaked with tears. I wanted to speak, to say I was free from pain and oddly at peace, but no sound came out. I watched them labor to save me, calling out for more medication, preparing the crash cart in a frenzy. It was surreal, like seeing a hospital drama, except I was both the viewer and the patient. Most strikingly, despite witnessing my own lifeless form, I felt a calm that transcended normal understanding. No terror. No desperation. It was as though all stress and worry had vanished. A gentle serenity wrapped around me, as if whispering that everything happening was exactly as it should be. I could see their anxious faces, but there was nothing I could do to comfort them. Then, in an instant, my perspective shifted. A force beyond comprehension tugged at me, pulling me away from the frantic hospital scene and into what looked like a tunnel of glimmering light. The shift was swift, faster than anything I'd experienced, but it also felt natural, as though I'd always known how to move this way. The light grew stronger, yet it wasn't blinding. It radiated warmth, a sense of deep belonging, like being welcomed home. As I traveled through this radiant passage, my thoughts crystallized with unprecedented clarity. It was as if my mind, once confined by limitations, now expanded into boundless understanding. Ideas and insights that would have baffled my earthly brain suddenly made perfect sense, as though the fog of ordinary life had been lifted. When I emerged from the tunnel, words failed me. I had stepped into a realm that doesn't fit the constraints of earthly language. The colors were indescribable, more vibrant than any rainbow, each hue carrying an emotional resonance. The air, if I can call it that, seemed alive with a gentle harmony that was musical yet not produced by instruments. And I sensed immediately that I had no body, only pure awareness. That's when I saw him, Jesus. But he wasn't the mere depiction I'd seen in paintings. His presence was both awe-inspiring and intimately comforting. From him emanated a love so overwhelming that I felt compelled to kneel, even though I didn't have a physical form. His light was brighter than the tunnel yet caused no discomfort. His eyes reflected immeasurable wisdom and compassion, as though they held the secrets of existence. "Eleanor," he said, lifting me up without touch or words. "There's much for you to see." Suddenly, the space around us shifted, and I observed what Jesus called the third heaven. He described it as a transitional realm, where souls immediately arrive after death. Not the ultimate, final heaven, but a sacred station meant for rest, reflection, and growth. My logical mind would have questioned all of this back in the hospital, but here, doubts dissolved. I could feel the truth of it. This realm was vast and multi-layered, its dimensions interwoven like threads in a cosmic tapestry. Jesus gestured, and I watched entire sections come into view, each tailor-made for the spiritual state of the souls within them. The first area Jesus revealed to me were the gardens of peace. There, I saw countless souls embraced by a soothing, golden light. They appeared perfectly content, many of them engaged in serene meditation or thoughtful prayer. Some stood silent, simply admiring the breathtaking beauty around them. Flowers, trees, and flowing streams shimmered in colors beyond what I knew on earth, changing hue in response to each soul's inner state. "These are those who lived with love and compassion," Jesus explained gently. "They rest here and continue deepening their understanding of divine love, awaiting the final resurrection. Their earthly kindness resonates, forming the brightness you see in them." I observed how each soul glowed from within, some radiating more brilliantly than others. Jesus explained that the intensity of this glow reflected how open they had been to divine love during their human lives. Yet even here, in this peaceful place, their luminosity was still growing, aided by the spiritual insights and loving energy constantly available. Moving on, we entered a different space Jesus called the halls of learning. The atmosphere felt both reverent and dynamic. Countless souls gathered in what resembled grand amphitheaters of shimmering light, guided by advanced spiritual beings who served as teachers. These beings radiated a presence even more luminous and compassionate than the souls they instructed. I watched as newly arrived souls underwent life reviews, an intensive experience, but not punitive. Rather than condemnation, it was profound education. They saw every choice they had made on earth, through not only their own eyes but also the perspectives of everyone affected by their actions. Acts of generosity rippled outward, influencing numerous lives in unexpected ways. Darker choices also reverberated, revealing harm done and the sorrow it caused. Jesus spoke, answering questions I hadn't realized I was thinking. No one is punished here. Each soul must simply understand how their actions shape the world. It is through understanding that they learn to transform, to choose love more fully. He showed me souls viewing, for instance, a brief moment of compassion that completely altered another person's life path. In contrast, some witnessed how a few careless words inflicted wounds lasting decades. Yet every review was bathed in compassion. Teachers guided them to recognize the origin of their harmful choices and to heal those patterns. I even saw souls working together, sending blessings to earth to help mend relationships or nudge someone toward a better outcome. In one corner of this realm, I glimpsed souls functioning like what we on earth call guardian angels. Jesus clarified that these were individuals who chose to serve those still in human form. I recognized my late grandmother among them, looking radiant in her prime. Instantly, I understood she had been silently assisting our family since her passing. In flashes of insight, I saw her at moments of crisis, helping my mother cope with health struggles, guiding my brother on his wedding day, and even granting me subtle reassurance during stressful hospital shifts. Every prayer, every cry for help, was heard. Though these guardian souls could not interfere with our free will, they found myriad ways to support and guide. This revelation shook me with its beauty. We on Earth are never truly alone. Unseen, loving forces surround us, quietly influencing outcomes where possible. Realizing that prayers manifest tangible waves of light in this realm, connecting humans to the divine, was a moment of profound awe. One of the most heart-stirring sections Jesus showed me were the healing chambers. There were no physical walls here, only states of being. Souls burdened by serious traumas, addictions, or deep-rooted anger arrived in these zones to experience an unthinkable level of love that began to dissolve their wounds. Human religions often misinterpret this, Jesus told me. No soul is denied healing if they sincerely desire it. Even the darkest actions can be mended through unwavering love. I watched souls who had committed grievous deeds on earth. They confronted their actions head-on, not to receive punishment, but to be rehabilitated at the deepest level. Beings of pure light enveloped them, aiding them in seeing the exact nature of their wrongdoings and guiding them through the excruciating yet ultimately liberating process of transformation. Some souls had to relive their earthly choices, feeling the pain they caused, but always enveloped in compassion that never abandoned them. It was a revelation, even in the face of evil or wrongdoing, the divine approach is healing, not endless condemnation. This unconditional love was far more powerful than any condemnation could ever be, unlocking the possibility of true redemption for every soul. Jesus then led me deeper into the landscape. There, I saw advanced souls participating in acts of creation. They shaped vibrant new worlds, guided by divine wisdom. Each newly formed realm bristled with the potential for life, exploration, and cosmic evolution. Some souls seemed to serve as cosmic architects, collaborating with energies so subtle and immense that my human mind could only marvel. But there was also a region blanketed in shadow. Souls who refused to accept love remained isolated, their own fear and bitterness forging a prison of darkness. Yet even there, I noticed beings of light reaching out, patiently radiating hope. No one is ever truly forsaken, Jesus said. Love refuses to abandon a single soul. Redemption remains an open door, waiting for them to walk through when they're ready. Before my time in this realm ended, Jesus revealed Earth's potential futures. These visions rolled out like scenes in an endless tapestry, branching into multiple possibilities. In one shining future, humanity stood united, nations cooperating for peace, healing the planet, using innovations to uplift every living being. Love, wisdom, and empathy guided collective choices. In another scenario, I saw conflict, environmental disaster, and deepening divisions. Still, Jesus reminded me of humanity's gift, free will. We're each free to cultivate love or sow division. Every seemingly small decision, every act of kindness, or conversely, every act of cruelty, rippled outward across this universal web of life. It's not about fear, he emphasized. It's about realizing how interconnected you are. Strive to love a little more each day. Jesus then allowed me to witness an interconnected web binding all of creation, people, animals, nature, and angelic entities alike. This luminous matrix was made of living lines of light, each pulse echoing the choices, emotions, and prayers of billions of souls. Any shift in one node of the network influenced countless others. An act of love, no matter how small, sparked a chain reaction of healing light, while actions rooted in hate or fear produced pockets of darkness that also had to be transmuted by love over time. This view shattered the illusion of separation. Hurting another was, in essence, hurting ourselves. Loving another was an act of self-love as well, healing the collective tapestry of existence. The sheer beauty and enormity of this realization took my breath away, even though I had none in that realm. Then, gently, Jesus told me my time was not over. There was a gravitational pull, drawing me away from this awe-inspiring realm. I felt a wave of love flooding over me one last time, and his final message echoed in my consciousness: love is more than a feeling, it's a choice, one you make every moment. Share what you've learned. I jolted back into my body on the emergency room floor, gasping for air as my colleagues breathed collective relief. The defibrillator had just delivered its third shock, and my heart had begun beating again. To them, I'd been gone for just under 5 minutes, but in that span, I had beheld an eternity's worth of revelations. In the weeks that followed, I could no longer see the world through my old lens. Everything glowed with newfound significance: the resilience of patients, the courage of families waiting in hospital lobbies, and the subtle miracles of everyday life. I no longer view people merely as biological entities but as souls in the midst of learning and growth. Even the simplest interactions can carry a profound spiritual dimension. Yes, I still rely on science and practical treatment in the hospital, but with an expanded perspective. True healing must address the entire being, body, mind, and spirit. Sometimes, when conditions allow, I even sense the presence of those guardian souls who assist in the healing process. I share this not as dogma but as an invitation to reflect. What we call death is a transition, not an ending. The souls who have crossed over are more active and alive than we realize, working, learning, and even guiding us toward a future shaped by love. And our everyday choices, large or small, matter immensely, creating ripples that affect everyone in ways we might never see. My experience revealed that every bit of kindness, every forgiving gesture, and every moment spent listening to someone's pain contributes to an intricate cosmic design. We are part of a divine mosaic, interconnected and bound together by threads of love. While our world faces difficulties, we each hold the power to choose compassion over indifference, hope over despair, and unity over division. This story might sound incredible, but it has illuminated my path and given me a renewed sense of responsibility to care for others in a way that honors the eternal spark within them. And with that, I encourage you to pause and consider how you can bring a little more love into each moment. Because even one thoughtful act can echo across the galaxies of our shared spiritual journey. Thank you for watching. If this message moved you, subscribe to stay connected, like this video if it resonated, and share it with someone who might need hope today. Our collective mission is to grow in love, foster faith, and support each other toward a brighter future.